Welcome back, everybody. It's the New York Islanders taking on the Dallas Stars here this evening. Two teams will play on Sunday in Big D. Closed captioning for tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Let's sit upstairs. Here's Howie and Butch.
All right, Peter, thank you very much. And so here at the Coliseum, the Islanders may be getting ready for a track meet, which means a lot of pressure on both goaltenders tonight. And once again, that's Evgeny Nabokov for the Islanders.
I love it when the coaches talk about a track meet. That means there's not a lot of things going to happen in the neutral zone. Both teams are going to take a few chances in the offensive zone, and it means they have all kinds of speed. And when you talk about the New York Islanders, every opposing coach talks about the Islanders with all this great speed, this great transition. Well, the same can be said as Dallas. Lindy Ruff says, hey, looking at these two teams is looking like they're looking at a mirror.
Kari Lehtonen gets most of the work in goal for Lindy Ruff's Dallas Stars. Lindy, of course, a longtime defenseman with the Buffalo Sabres, also played late in his career with the Rangers. 15 years behind the Buffalo bench, now in Dallas.
Yeah, and I quickly asked him, Howie, snow or sun? What do you think he said?
Goodness, I don't know Lindy well enough to vouch for him, but to me, any right-thinking person would say sun.
And you'd be right. He did.
You.
I said, at our age, Lindy, you got to be in the sun.
Exactly. The Islanders starting their fourth line. That's Cizikas, Martin, and McDonald. And for Dallas, Cody Aiken, number 20 up front with Antoine Roussel, number 21, kid born in France. Ryan Garbutt, number 16. This is Aiken moving towards the slot. He had it poked away by Donovan. And now racing back to get it is defenseman Brendan Dillon, number 4. He was not drafted. Dillon played his junior hockey in Seattle. And headmans towards the Islander line for Eric Cole. Slapped away by Hamonic. On comes Bannock. He fires and missed upstairs. Looked like it got either a piece of Dillon's stick or maybe that of Lehtonen.
Now we talk about a fast-paced game, Howie. There is a perfect example right there. Transition, quick pass up to Bannock. You know he's going to shoot, no hesitation. Not sure, right, if it went off of the defenseman's stick, Dillon, on that shot, but good aggressive move by Lehtonen.
So the draw will be deep in the Dallas zone as the Islanders bring the John Tavares line on. John draws with Rich Peverly. Andrew McDonald has to move back to the Islander line. Across now to Brian Straight.
Changes and cares. Of course, whenever you struggle a little bit defensively, the first thing the coach does on many instances.
Here's Peverly shooting. Nabokov is saved as he was tested. Good shot from the slot by Peverly.
I looked offside as to me as Chasson looked like he was just a half a step ahead of the play.
Tavares finds the puck behind the net, got turned around. Eric Cole back for it. Tavares was knocked down by Jordy Benn, number 24, the brother of Jamie Benn, the captain of the Stars. And here's Trevor Daley back in the lineup after missing 13 games with a lower body injury, getting a shot on. Stars have their top line of Ben Sagan and the 18-year-old Valeri Nichushkin, number 43. And does he ever have skill?
As coach was talking about on this is a guy that plays way beyond his years, way too much skill for this 18-year-old hockey player. Big, strong, can skate. Matter of fact, Yager made a comment about the kid saying that this kid could be the best player in the National Hockey League in a very short period of time. So that's pretty high marks.
This is Ben, number 14. Checked by Josh Bailey back after missing 4. And now it's Nielsen starting ahead. Regan, his buddy from Denmark, breaks to the hole. But the puck slapped away by Gonchar, number 55. Recovered by Hickey in the Islanders zone. Stars are changing on the move. And the puck shoveled in by Strome.
Ryan Strome line, I thought it was as good a line as there was for the Islanders last game. Howie, I thought they had real good forechecking, had some chemistry, had some offensive opportunities, played physical. I thought they played a real nice game.
Veteran Ray Whitney, number 13, moved it ahead, and then it's steered ahead by Goligoski, number 33, the former Pittsburgh Penguin. Back on defense for the Stars. Comes back to take it from Lehtonen as both teams change on the move just about 3 minutes in. Here's a lead for Roussel. He's better towards the slot, but it winds up along the near boards. Aiken was checked by Cizikas. Now a play to the front of the net. Aiken fanned. He had a great chance. Just got a piece of the puck. And he drilled it. The Stars would have the early lead.
Casey Cizikas was back in good position, so I think he was a bit of a deterrent on that play for Eakin.
Martin with a good hit. That was on Eakin. And the puck sent in behind the Islander net. McDonald trying to move away from the oncoming Ryan Garbutt, number 16. And Cizikas got involved in a collision. That was with Jordie Benn, number 24. Ben's talking about it to the referee. Ben had the stick knocked out of his hands. Taken down. Wanted to know why no call. If nothing else, now he has his answer. The referee was right next to him. And so back into the corner goes Chiasson, number 12. He is dumped by DeHaan. And Brock Nelson now against Jordie Benn. Off of Tavares. And Benn back to get it. Jordie, the older brother of Jamie Benn. Mason takes a couple of whacks at it. Finally loosened and cleared out by Peverley. And Hamonic finds Vanek. Ben went down, and so Lettman forced to make a save on the long shot by Nelson.
Ben was undrafted. It's a little strange. Usually there's a lot of talent between the two brothers. Different path to get to the National Hockey League.
Travis Hamonic goes to the near corner and shovels one out ahead. Bailey breaking but won't reach it. Thought the Stars had a little trouble clearing until Jamie Benn was able to get it off of Regan's stick and send it deep. Donovan just about overskated that. Regan checked by the pinching Dillon. A steal by Benn. He scores! Donovan was in trouble. And the Stars take a 1-0 lead on the goal by Jamie Benn.
Yeah, that's a tough start for young Donovan. Goes down to Bridgeport to get a little more ice time, play in different situations, find some confidence, and evaluate your game. And then the first shift on the ice, he turns the puck over, and there's the quick shot by Benn up over the glass. Watch Donovan wants to move the puck in a hurry, but through the middle of the ice is not the place to go. And what a tremendous shot by Benn over the glove of Nabokov. Didn't even look like there was any room there. Look at Nabokov. He's in perfect position. He's covering the angle perfectly, but that's an even better shot by Benn. And that's a guy with an awful lot of skill, and he makes the Islanders pay. But that's a tough start for Donovan. Just coming back, Howie, his first shift.
Last thing that he needed.
Last thing that anybody wanted. Now you got to play the rest of the game. You got to forget about that one. It's like a golf game. Forget about the bad shot. You got 17 more holes to go. You better concentrate on your game.
5:01 the time of the unassisted goal. And now the Stars set up shop again in the Islanders zone. Sean Horcoff, number 10. Now Whitney feeds Horcoff. A save made by Nabokov. And Horcoff didn't get everything on that.
Wizard Ray Whitney, 41, almost 42 years of age. A lot of people thought he'd never play in the National Hockey League. But he's quick, and he's really smart. Very good on the power play.
Strome to Clutterbuck, put one off the pads of Lettman. Gonchar takes a hit from Clutterbuck, and Martin makes his presence felt too on Horcoff. Now DeHaan gloves it down. Dallas changing on the move. Here's Cizikas into the Dallas zone, fires one, but back to break it up, or at least partially break it up, was Eakin. Roussel throws one to the net. Nabokov steered it away, and then Clarkner basically shoved Roussel down. Roussel right out in front of Nabokov to provide the screen.
A good save by Nabokov. You're right, he had to fight the screen from Roussel. Good shot by Garbutt, just got it towards the net, but Nabokov hung in there, able to make a real nice save.
Islanders don't come out with it. And so over to the far side goes Garbutt, but the Islanders recover. Cizikas brings it in, drops for Martin. He shoots, save made. Rebound Cizikas. He's stopped by Lettman. The outlet to Donovan. He fires. That's blocked away. Rebound comes through the slot. And the Islanders have their best flurry in the early part of this game.
A good play by Jack Capuano, the coach. Gets Donovan right back out. You got to know you have some confidence in the young guy. Get him right back on. Get back on the horse right away.
Now Donovan defending against Peverley. Peverley having to deal with the referee as well as Donovan, who wrestles Peverley down. Peverley bounces back up. Referee says, play it, boys. Eric Cole looking for it. Peverley's got it. But his pass was picked up by Colin McDonald. And now Vanek moves in against Daly. Thomas Vanek pulls up, eyes up, feeds the slot. That's intercepted and cleared ahead by Jordie Benn to his defense partner Daly. Trevor Daly feeds Jamie Benn in the corner. He's checked by Straight. Worked free by Nichushkin. But the Islanders recover. Up comes Nelson. Brock Nelson caught from behind by Seguin. Avoids Seguin. Keeps the puck. Good play. Drops it to Hamonic. Fires. Arm save made by Lettinen. The rebound is loose. Tavares got it towards the front of the net, but it rolls into the corner, and Jordie Benn takes over there for Dallas and just gets rid of it. He's iced it, and he doesn't care.
They still want a little settle things down a little bit, even if it's an icing, you got to stay on the ice. But nice play by Brock Nelson to be able to create a little time and space. Back pressure from Seguin, but Brock Nelson makes the quick turn, hangs on, and waits for Travis Hamonic to join the play as we look at the goal scorer, Jamie Benn. You talk about a guy that's an elite, big, strong, tough left wing, a power forward, if you will, Howie, for the Dallas team. Talking to his coach, he said he reminds me a little bit of Neil, but he's got a little more toughness to him. This guy will play a very physical game. You want to go at him, he'll go at you. He'll take the hits, he'll give them back. He's also very good on faceoffs.
And from the draw, DeHaan skips one to the net. It sits right in the corner. Benn worked it free. Hamonic throws one that way, but it flutters to the near boards. DeHaan fires through a screen. Lettinen didn't know where it was, but it was blocked in front of him. And he was looking the other way.
Yeah, it didn't hit him, that's for sure, because he didn't know where the puck went. Well, the Islanders have picked the pace up after giving up that early goal. A lot more pressure down in the Dallas zone.
Nielsen flings one into the mid of Lettinen. There'll be a face-off in the Dallas zone. 11:31 remaining. First period.
Well, the Dallas Stars lead 1-0 early in the first period on a good job of forechecking by Jamie Benn. Again, watching the corner, you're going to see Donovan be able to come back down and pick up this puck. He's got all kinds of time, but here's Jamie Benn right in this area here. But watch the good hard work as he's going to lay the stick down, intercept that dangerous pass through the middle, and then what looks like an impossible shot isn't. He completes it. Nice give and go. Matt Martin to Casey Cizikas on the rebound, but a couple of nice saves there by Lettinen. And I talked about the play, but Nelson dropped past to Travis Hamonic, excuse me. I guess I'm thinking Kyle should be out there, but Brock Nelson was out there in their front, but a nice shot, a knuckleball from Travis Hamonic.
And the result, a face-off in the Dallas zone, is Strom beaten on the draw. And the puck controlled by Dillon.
I was thinking, Howie, of Kyle, because Kyle didn't have the baby. So for the old days, you'd be out here playing. So I'm wondering, was it that tough a night for Kyle?
It's probably the most rewarding thing you can ever experience, to see the birth of your child. And it was an option that was not available to players a couple of generations ago.
No question. No, and I'm not saying he shouldn't have watched that part of it, but once it was over, well, hello.
Here's Dillon winding one hard around the boards. Daniela Oposo's on the phone. She'd like to have a word with you.
Yeah. And as I told you the other night, when she played with St. Cloud, she's tough, so I don't want to get anywhere near her.
There's Ryan Strome shooting one straight through, and it's grabbed and held by Lettinen. But congratulations to Kyle and Danielle on the birth of Eliana Oposo. And Kyle has already called it the greatest day of his life. And
wish them all well.
You can understand why.
Yep. I'm sure the grandparents are thrilled to death.
So Jack Capuano sends out the Cizikas line against Cody Eakin's line and Sergei Gonchar. They call what Gonchar had concussion-like symptoms. I don't know if there is some semantics involved there, but that's why he missed 5 games. They didn't say he had a concussion. They said he had concussion-like symptoms.
I'm not sure what that means. You got a headache?
I guess.
I've had those kind of symptoms on several occasions.
I'm not going there. But anyway, everybody is so happy for Kyle Oposo and Danielle. And there's the tweet from Kyle calling it the best day of his life. And we are all thrilled for Kyle and Danielle.
Yes. And as you well know, Howie, when you have a daughter, they love their dad. So,
she's under his skin already, I guarantee it. And he'll be under her thumb before long.
Exactly right. It's a chink.
Yeah, exactly. Brian Straight back to get it. Ryan Garbutt had the stick knocked out of his hands. And the puck retrieved in the Dallas zone by Kevin Canuck, number 23. Now Vanek to Tavares. Back towards Vanek. Second effort. Lettinen can't find it. And if he looks in the corner, he'll see where Garbutt's able to steer it around, but not out. Straight Shoots one that's blocked by Gonchar. And now Aiken trying to get away now from 2 Islanders. There's going to be a penalty here. And this penalty is going to be against the Islanders. It's a bit of a risky play, but in the end, the Islanders wind up taking the penalty. Risky play as far as Aiken was concerned. 9:40 remain, first period.
Well, the Stars lead 1-0 over the Islanders. The Islanders continue to play in the offensive zone, creating all kinds of opportunities. This one was with John Tavares and Thomas Vanek. Again, watch John Tavares on this quick little pass from Vanek, a little give and go, and tries to go back to the 5-hole. They're in tight. Now I know the game right here. Watch this little hook. You've got to keep your feet moving. Watch Thomas Vanek. He stopped skating, and that's why they get the call for the Dallas Stars, and now it's a power play for them. Their power play hasn't been very good, Howie.
No, it's next to last in the league at 12.5%, but they are 4 for their last 20. It's not a whole lot, but it's certainly a significant improvement. And the Islander penalty killing continues to be last in the league. However, that has been better lately as they've killed off 20 of the last 24.
Well, the coaches will tell you I'm only interested in this one, the present. The past is irrelevant.
Ben across to Seguin. Tough play right at his feet, and he had pressure from Clutterbuck. That forces the Stars out of the Islanders' zone.
Turnover there for Clutterbuck would have been a breakaway from his own blue line. Clutterbuck's been a good penalty killer for the Islanders ever since they started using him. Did a lot of penalty killing in Minnesota.
Big Eric Cole, number 72, sweeps it back to Seguin. Thought about a shot, a lot of traffic in front. Now Seguin right at the line. Challenged by Cizikas, moves it across. Cole didn't get much on that. Chiasson fought back for it. And now Seguin. Ben waiting at the near boards. We got Chiasson right out in front providing a screen. The shot got through, a save made. Ben on the rebound, can't tee it up. And it winds up in the far corner with Nabokov's fault. That's hurt.
Yeah.
Did he get skated over, Butch, or banged into?
It looked like he was outstretched there. There were a couple of sticks whacking away. Ben was in tight looking for a rebound.
Could that be groin related?
I guess, or
you know, that's the first thing you think of because that was what kept him out for a month. The way he flung that helmet off and where they're massaging now is...
Yeah, you look on the right side there where he has his hand back around his hip area. Oh, it's hard to tell. Again, Chiasson's right in front of the net in the crease, and watch Ben come in, 1 whack, 2 whacks. Now that's the right side. You can see Nabokov grabs on the right thigh area right off the bat. A lot of pressure on the right side, right in this area here, Howie. And I'm sure that, fortunately, the puck didn't go in and the play was whistled down. But you can see Nabokov with a blocker on the right side, so it looks like he's stretching that out just a little bit. Trainer talking to Nabokov. Nabby's not going to want to come out, you know that. Perhaps it was just a little bit of a pull.
Well, the crowd voicing their support. Kevin Poulin must have kind of a sixth sense for this stuff because he just sat at the end of the bench. He never put his mask on. You know, he wasn't necessarily expecting that he would be jumping right into the play here, but Nabokov's still flexing that right side. How much of a concern would that be for you?
Well, it would be a concern. That's why they're still talking as to whether or not, you know, whether he just can stretch out or not. It was just might have been just a quick tweak. Sometimes you can move so quickly or get yourself in an awkward spot that you just kind of feel a little pain just for an instant. That's possibly what happened. I don't know, obviously. Speculating a little bit up here, but he seems to be good to go. The referee's being very patient with him, giving him an opportunity to get himself set. So the first save will be, the next shot really will tell you something, whether or not he can continue. Because if he has to go down in a hurry, Howie, he's going to know whether he's 100%.
And I don't think Lindy Ruff minded the delay that much because he could keep his first power play unit out there.
Yeah, they were good. They had a couple of great opportunities.
Ben won the draw, but Cizikas makes a block, charges ahead with Grabner. And now Goligoski falls with Grabner waiting at the other side. He'll stretch the PK out, although not all that crisply. And so the Stars move it back in. Hickey dumps it out. 28 remaining on the Dallas power play. Well, the Islanders are changing. The Stars stay the same. Goligoski. The Islanders now have Nielsen and Clutterbuck up front. Seguin steers it in. Hickey around, stopped by MacDonald. Nielsen didn't have control of it. And now Horkov along the boards, pressured by Nielsen. Franz gets it loose. But Horkov slapped it away. Hickey, though, is able to send it all the way down, and that takes care of the penalty. Vanek is out of the box. 2 shots for the Stars on the power play. Bank feed to Whitney. Chips one ahead. Vernon Fiddler pulls up, threw it to the front of the net. And now Daly back at the blue line. Screen provided in front by Horkov, who now vacates. Looks for the puck of the corner. Vanek's got it, though. And Brock Nelson starts ahead. 3-on-2 for the Islanders. A drop for Tavares to the slot. His shot blocked. Looked like Whitney's stick. However, behind the play, we get a whistle, and I think Nabokov just can't make it.
Yep. No, that's instead. The first time he's going to have a shot going towards him. He's going to have to go in, and he's obviously in some sort of pain. Probably trying to move that right side, see if he could flex it at all. And now Kevin Poolin's in a tough situation with no rebound as we see him go to the bench. So that's an early exit right now for Nabokov. Kevin Poolin's been working hard. He worked hard this morning. So anticipation was, Howie, that he was going to play in Toronto tomorrow. So this may be an early warm-up for him. Played very well in his last outing. Got the win. Feeling very good about himself. Lots of confidence.
And now you wonder whether or not Anders Nilsson is going to have to hightail it. I'm not sure. I doubt on Monday night Bridgeport would be playing, so you would think that Nilsson could get here as quickly as possible to make the charter if necessary for Toronto. But a lot of that will depend on what they find when they look at Evgeny Nabokov.
Yeah, they'll probably immediately make a call to him and get him on alert just in case they want to have him fly out tomorrow to Toronto.
Boy, right at dinner time, too. Sorry, Anders. Here's Casey Cizikas. And now Hickey gets to the red line. Tries to throw it to the corner. It was gloved down, though, by Connaught. And Gonchar always makes a great pass out of his own zone. The big Eric Cole headed to the slot. That's set all the way down. See if this goes far enough for the icing, and it will. And the icing called as Chasen had a step.
Well, we'll watch Nabokov as we see this. Watch him push from right to left, right across. He's got the pad down right away. He knows. I can see the reaction right there. He knows right away. He couldn't get up. As soon as he made that move, Howie, where he had to drop his right side, he knew right away that he had an issue, and that's why immediately, as soon as the puck went out of his end, he went right off. So, like I said, the first time he's going to have to do something with the right side is going to be the telltale sign.
From the draw, the Stars control. Eric Cole, a shot, he scores! I don't know if Poulin saw it or not, as there was a little movement right in front of him, but the Stars have a 2-0 lead.
Poulin never saw that shot. He dropped down a little bit to see if he could find the puck. It's a quick spinorama. Eric Cole has a terrific shot, but Chazon was in front. But again, you lose the face-off, and you're going to have problems. Again, Dallas able to control that face-off. Watch the quick pass. Spinorama, there it is. There's the Chazon in front of the net with no opportunity for Poulin. Goes through a maze of people and finds the right-hand side, the lower blocker side for Poulin. Tough start for Poulin, but absolutely no chance, how he never saw it.
And so the Stars with a 2-0 lead as the Islanders send it in. Daly, number 6, works it up the boards, not out. Bailey recovers, feeds Regan, and a quick shot is stopped by the goaltender Lettinen. Holds 11th. Chason at 13:48. 5:57 remaining here in the first period. Tomorrow night at 7 on MSG Plus, the Islanders take on the Maple Leafs. Live coverage gets underway with Visa Islanders game night at 6:30. Islanders Maple Leafs tomorrow night on MSG Plus.
Howie Beverly got another assist. That's a 4-game point streak for him. They started the season on the right side, and then Coach Lindy Ruff about 10 games ago moved him to the middle of the ice, and that line's been more productive ever since that happened. Well, we remember Beverly from Boston. He's a very effective penalty killer.
So Daly banks it off the boards, and out come the Stars on right wing. It's Roussel trying to get it to the front of the net. It actually clipped the outside of the net, and Poulin pounced on it with a lot of company in his neighborhood there.
Roussel throw the puck from the corner again. Coaches want all the pucks to head towards that paint area. Look for the rebounds. Poulin was able to cover that up. Both Garbutt and Roussel are very speedy. They're very much of an agitator-type winger along the same mold as Clutterbuck with great speed, though. Both of those guys, they can score some goals. Of course, the centerman, well, he's just a good two-way centerman, and if he's smart, he just dumps it in their corner and lets them go at it.
So now Jamie Benn will draw with Ryan Strome. Strome asked to leave. Will be replaced by Grabner.
Then on the strong side, Howie, that's why he's taking the face-off. He can pull it back to the middle of the ice to right there.
But it's kicked to Seguin and blockered out. And recovered by Clutterbuck.
That's what you call a great face-off win, when you can get it into the slot right to the right-hand shot, which in that case was Seguin.
Goligoski turns away. Alex Goligoski watched by Strome. Seguin couldn't hold the pass. It was just a bit wide. And Strome met at the Dallas line by Dillon. A hit by Clutterbuck on Nichushkin. And Lettman's going to have to hold on.
Yeah, it looked like he hurt him just a little bit. He's a big guy, at about 6'4". Welcome to the National Hockey League. You're not going to just deke and dive and think no one's going to hit you. There's the good solid check by Clutterbuck as he steps up in him. Takes that left shoulder.
Too.
Yeah, well, yeah, look, he's got his head down, and you got to be aware in the league. I mean, yes, he got all kinds of skill, and that's one of the areas that Lindy Ruff talks about him, is that he's got to learn to move the puck. You can't do it by yourself, even though you're a really skilled individual.
Tavares wins the draw to Hickey. A save by Lettman. Tavares trying to tee up the rebound. It comes through the slot. Donovan to Hickey. He fires one wide. Nelson goes after it in the corner. Wrap around by Vanek is pounced on by Lettman, and there'll be a face-off in the Dallas zone.
Well, Islanders in this first period have had some opportunities to score. They just can't seem to get the puck past the net. Watch John Tavares on this face-off. There's the timing. Gets the puck back low. You see how low he's got his hand? That's for power, Howie, so he can control the stick with an awful lot of strength as the Islanders are able to get a shot on net.
What are you watching in that face-off, Dot, as the centerman? You watching the dot for the puck? You watching the opponent's stick?
Nope.
What are you looking at?
I'm watching the linesman's hand.
McDonald a drive blocked away by Lettman.
Yeah.
So you're completely focused just on the hand.
Yeah, once you set up your position and you know where the defensive centerman is trying to do, or his positioning, you're watching the linesman hand. When you're in your defensive zone, you're trying to time it as the Dallas forward did there.
Now Tavares trying to get through, but it slipped out of the zone by Chiasson.
If you're the defensive centerman, Howie, like Eakin was there, what you can do is you get your stick down last, so you try to time it to come down and get an edge as the puck's being dropped from the linesman.
Tavares has a little trouble teeing it up, and Fiddler moves it in. And the Nashville Predator, Phoenix Sun, Phoenix Coyote, Vernon Fiddler. And now Tavares. Actually, they're going to be the Arizona Coyotes before long. That was part of the agreement when the deal was reached to keep the team in Glendale.
It's a little bit like the Colorado Rockies as opposed to the Colorado Avalanche instead of the Denver Avalanche. Same concept. Colorado Rockies during my time.
Now Fiddler in the corner. Checked by Donovan. Martin trying to clear. Gonchar holds it in at the line. Takes a shove from Cizikas. Donald against the pinching Connaughton in the corner. Jay Whitney was covering defensively for Connaughton.
That's why you talk about a fast-paced game, because Connaughton, Daly, they all like to jump up on the play, as does Goligoski.
In come the star. Seguin tees it up. It goes off the Hahn's stick. Donovan was trapped there. Now Daly to Benn. Jamie Benn feeds it down low and hopped over to Nichushkin's stick. Seguin eliminated on a nice play by DeHaan. Calvin DeHaan carries it to center and fires it in.
DeHaan has been very steady since he's come up from Bridgeport. Great poise with the puck. We talked about his hockey sense and his great first pass. Moving the puck now much quicker, reading the play much quicker. That's obviously going to help.
His progress seems to be fairly linear. You know, it's not good game, good game, so-so game. Getting better every game. Hamonic drives it wide.
Yeah, he's been very steady. When you talk to him about his game, he's an intelligent individual. When you talk to him, it's not an emotion. That's the way he plays, and that's the way he talks. It's just very, very conservative, yet understands the game.
Strome in trouble, stripped by Roussel, but Strome recovered enough to prevent Roussel from getting too much on the pass. Clutterbuck going after Goligoski. He got rid of it quickly, and Gorbutt banks it in the Islanders zone.
Well, you can't beat anybody or deke anybody when you're not skating. Ryan Strome had no speed. That was an easy check.
Maybe an icing, and they do call the icing. Well, they'll bring it back into the Islanders zone.
Well, look, you can see it right here. Look at John.
That's a great shot.
Look at John. He's looking at the linesman's hand. You can just see it right there. And then now, look at the timing, though, that Dallas Eakin's trying to get it. John gets an awful good jump. Strength-wise, though, you can see he's able to get the puck back. But you could just see right on his left eye was watching that puck. And that's what you're supposed to do. Using your strength and your quickness, win a draw.
Great camera work to answer that question graphically.
Yes, absolutely. Couldn't get a better stop there and a look.
Beautiful stuff from our outstanding crew. And now Eric Cole on left wing. Into the Islanders zone, waiting for help. DeHaan got it away from him. Cole seemed a little indecisive, though, whether or not he wanted to throw that puck to the front of the net. DeHaan took advantage.
Well, with only a little more than a minute to go in the period, you want to keep the puck ahead of you. The prudent play, how it would be to dump it in behind or freeze it in the corner.
Now Fiddler moving in over the line, gave it away to Tavares. Islanders go the other way. Nelson across to Vanek, but he didn't hold it cleanly, and that forces the play offside.
Puck hopped on Thomas Vanek again. Thomas loves to get inside the blue line and just pull up and then look for a little help, see whether Brock Nelson's coming up on the play, a possible defenseman, John Tavares, but he likes to create time and space. Yes, he'll go to the net and he'll shoot the puck, but just inside the blue line, he's looking to make a play.
So Tavares will draw with Fiddler outside the Dallas line. Tavares draws it straight back as we reach the final minute of this first period. On around for Hamonic. Didn't get out initially, but Tavares pries it loose. Only to have the Stars Fiddler bring it right back in against DeHaan. Fiddler goes to the corner. Tavares makes a good play defensively, anticipating that pass that was headed towards Garbutt. Hamonic back around to DeHaan. Plays it up the middle, flicked away, and that forces the play offside.
Turnovers are always an issue, and again, Howie, I talk about the last minute, the last shifts. You hear me talk about it all the time, but it's so important because you just don't want to give up opportunities or give up a goal late in the period that takes away momentum from your progress. So you've got to be a little bit more diligent in trying to get the puck in deep with those last couple of shifts. Be a little bit more conservative. Have the patience to understand your game is going to be good enough and you're going to have opportunities.
Nielsen checked by Sagan. Regan in there as well. Peter Regan in the corner. And now Bailey chips it to the near side. Nielsen goes after it, finds Bailey. Now to Regan. He throws it to the front of the net. Bailey got a one-hander off. Stopped by Lettman. And the Stars clear, and that should end the period, but not before the Islanders get a little late pressure. However, at the end of one, despite the fact the Islanders outshot the Stars 14-10, goals by Jamie Benn and Eric Cole give the Stars a 2-0 lead.
Now watch the give and go in the corner. There's a save by Lettman on that pass out, but here's a give and go. Bailey backs to Frans Nielsen, and then, Peter Regan, and Bailey almost scores a goal on that short side, but that's what Bailey has to do. Get skating, move the puck, and then get yourself back into position.
So stay tuned for the first period intermission report presented by Ford. Peter will chat with Travis Hamonic of the Islanders. We'll look back at Chico Resch, the former Islander goaltender, and one of his rather unique mask styles. And we're going to have a big feature tomorrow night when the Islanders are in Toronto, having to do with Islanders or Islander artifacts in the Hall of Fame. We'll also have some first period highlights. Evgeny Nabokov got hurt and was replaced by Kevin Poulin. They each gave up a goal. The Ford intermission report is next. Getting set to start the second period with the Stars leading the Islanders 2-0. Let's take a look at tonight's trivia question brought to you by Cadillac. Al Arbour holds the National Hockey League record with those 740 wins as head coach of the Islanders. 4 other coaches have won 500 or more with one franchise, all the way back to the beginning of the National Hockey League, which opened for business in 1917. So you think about that, we'll have the answer for you a little bit later on. Islanders got Al Arbour, number 740, in a very poignant and somewhat emotional night several years ago against the Pittsburgh Penguins. North Shore LIJ, the official health system of the New York Islanders. That's the night when Al was invited to step behind the Islander bench one more time. Ted Nolan was the head coach, and he embraced the idea, and Al got credit for the win.
And Al wasn't sure if he was just coming back as an assistant coach or, you know, what his function was going to be. And Ted Nolan and the rest of the Islanders said, no, you got to come back. You got to take care of business. You got to get involved. You got to coach. And in typical Al Arbour fashion, they found a way to come back and win that hockey game. And you're right, it was an emotional night, an emotional day for Al. And it was a fun day, and it was a fitting way to end a career.
Here's Aiken. Wonder if he bagged anybody at the morning skate. I don't recall. There's going to be a penalty here, I believe, to the Stars, and it looks like a disbelieving Roussel is going to go for a cross-check.
Now, just to get back to that is that the morning skate there, Al was just, I've been watching tapes and everything, Howie, so I watched the penalty. There's Roussel in front. There's the cross-check, the push-off in front of Casey Cizikas as he's trying to eliminate his man. Casey Cizikas pretty close to taking a hooking penalty there, but good break for the Islanders. So an opportunity, Howie, for them to get back into the game.
This Islanders power play is brought to you by New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Islanders control the draw. MacDonald floats it to Strome. He works it to the corner to Tavares. Quickly to MacDonald. And now Nielsen. But Nielsen looks. Now moves back towards the half boards before setting up MacDonald. Strome leans into one. That's blocked. Strome gets it again, but his pass comes out of the zone, and the Islanders have to clear out.
A little adjustment for the Islanders without Kyle Oposo. The right-hand shot. Jack Capuano and Doug Wade have placed Ryan Strome on the power play. But again, timing and chemistry, work in progress.
And it's been a good power play lately. A chance for another one, but it hopped over Tavares' stick. 7 out of their last 26 are the Islanders on the power play.
Dallas PKs in the middle of the pack.
They're tied for, or they are 17th in the league. Andrew MacDonald, let's go a drive, stick save, rebound Nielsen, that goes off a stick, grabbed back by Strome. Now Strome. Back to the blue line, MacDonald for Nielsen. Bounce Nielsen to Tavares. A save by Lettman, the rebound, Strome, he scores! First National Hockey League goal for Ryan Strome. It comes on the power play, cuts the Dallas lead to 2-1. Congratulations, Ryan Strome.
A little excitement there on the young guy. That's his first goal, probably first of many. And it's a power play goal, and he didn't make any mistakes with it, Howie. He's able to wire that shot in hard. Tavares tried to get it out to Thomas Vanek. Watch Franz Nielsen's got control down to Tavares, hangs on. There's the quick shot by Vanek, and then the puck shuffles loose over to Ryan Strome, and he makes no mistake as he fires it into the back of the net. There's the first shot, great save by Letnam, but Vanek's able to get the puck over to Ryan Strome, and he just wrists it hard into the upper part of the net. So a big power play goal for the Islanders, and obviously an even bigger goal for Ryan Strome.
Set up by Vanek, who now has a 9-game point streak. Tavares, it's the second assist at 141. Thomas Vanek has never had a 9-game point streak. It's actually the longest current streak in the National Hockey League.
Now you talk about some of the things that the trade way back when with bringing Vanek to Tavares was the hope that there would be some chemistry there, and now we're seeing some of those things happen around Howie. Certainly Vanek is happy to be here.
Chuskin throws it into the corner for Dallas. Then whips it to the front of the net, cut off there by Hamonic up to Grabner, and he throws it in. Lettman steers it up off the glass, and even a piece of Clutterbuck, but Hamonic keeps it in. Looked like that clipped Clutterbuck right at the top of the helmet.
Just trying to get out of the way. He ducked him, and you're right, how he hit the top of his helmet.
And the puck sent in by Connaughton, who took a spill courtesy of Michael Grabner. Stars keep it in. To the slot, Roussel steers it wide. Down the boards, Connaughton. That goes off Grabner's stick and out of play. So that puck will be suitably inscribed by our pal Bogsy, Scott Boggs.
Yeah, Ryan Strome's eyes lit up there when he saw that puck slide over towards him. Nice big smile, and well, he should smile. Your first goal is an important goal. You always remember your first goal. But what I liked about that, how he didn't lollygag it into the net, as we see Scott Boggs putting the tape around it. Got to make sure that everybody knows exactly, identify that. That's Ryan Strome's puck, his first goal. But he didn't lollygag it with the shot, just kind of chip it in. He fired it like he tried to put it through the back of the net, making sure that Lettman had no opportunity to recover. So many guys take it easy, you know. They see the wide open net. Ryan Strome didn't let that happen.
Oh, here's a lead for Cole that's too far, and that results in an icing, and they'll bring it back into the Dallas zone.
Well, that was a little adjustment on that power play. Vanek has usually been standing in front of the net. He moved out into the slot, and Ryan Strome moved over to his forehand side. Doug Weight making adjustments, and you have to make adjustments because there's always injuries, and the power play gets sour a little bit. So Ryan Strome is the beneficiary of an opportunity.
From the draw, MacDonald a shot. It's tipped and goes wide. Both Vanek and Tavares were at either side of the net. Now it's kicked along by Goligoski, who tried to hit Cole with a headman pass, but it went for another icing. So again, the Stars can't change.
Very much a fast-breaking team, Dallas. We talked about a fast-paced game, and they like to get up the ice.
When penmanship counts, huh? That's a nice job by Scott Boggs.
He got a lot of experience with those first goals. Checking to see where the cameras are.
Ryan won't worry about where the puck is until after the game.
But you could see this goal coming, Howie, because over the last 4 or 5 games, he's much more involved, a lot more poise. See that his game was evolving. It was only going to be a matter of time. With what did you mention, Howard, the other day? 5 or 6 shots on goal. And you knew that he was going to find the back of the net sooner than later.
Now Regan turned around a bit by Peverly. Peter Regan, as much as anything, draw a penalty there because Peverly was basically holding him. Now Nielsen put it towards the front of the net, picked off by Chasen.
Behind the back, blind pass. Talked to Frans Nielsen today about, you know, the concentration level from a defensive standpoint from his team, particularly the other night when they played an okay first period but then lost focus. And he said, yeah, we've done that on several occasions, and there's no excuse. There's just absolutely no excuse to play like we played in the second half of that game. And we have to be better.
Now here's Hickey. That's floating one into the corner. Icing called. And so they'll bring it into the Islanders zone. And Islanders have been successful to this point in not permitting. In front, it went off the skate of Gonchar. Recovered by Martin. Now Martin to Cizikas. Back out to the blue line to Hahn. The Hamonic wrist shot. It went wide. And over to Chuskin. The challenge to Hahn. He gives it to Martin. Too far for Cizikas to reach, so Dillon takes over. But MacDonald cuts off the clearing attempt. Martin and Gonchar get to the corner together. Martin knocked down, but the Stars break to center. And Seguin turns it over. Strome took it away. Ryan Strome up to Grabner. Quick shot. Finally held by Lettman.
A good strong shift by the Islanders. Casey Cizikas, line Matt Martin, and Colin MacDonald have got their feet moving and supporting one another. When you're doing that, you can keep some serious offensive time. Well, that guy always has serious offensive time. Michael Grabner looking for the breakaway. Good back-checking job by Ryan Strome to steal number 91's puck, Tyler Seguin. And we talked about that at the top of the show, Howie, that's an area where he's got to be better, more conscientious. But Ryan Strome figured it out in a hurry tonight's game.
Clutterbuck takes a couple of shoves from Ben. That's Jordy Ben. And now Horkoff. There's a pass go off of Grabner. And Andrew MacDonald takes it back.
A lot more energy and effort involved in the Islander game up to this point in time. Yeah, they iced it again. And Andrew MacDonald looking for the deflection along the boards. But you can see the effort and the energy just the, I don't want to say the battle level, but I like what the puck retrieval is a better word for me. Getting to the puck ahead of the Dallas Stars and able to create some offensive opportunities.
So Strome will draw against Aiken.
He can win a big boy. A lot of players from Winnipeg.
So I was watching Aiken there, and he didn't look like he was fixed on the linesman the way Tavares was.
Well, not everybody does that. A lot of times they do face-offs in reaction, Howie, of what the opposition's doing. But we watched John Tavares, and I was in the same way. Watched the linesman's hand.
Bailey flips one. McDonald tried to block it with his skate. Roussel recovers, put it to the front of the net, but it's pitched to the boards by Grabner. Back out in center. Garbutt banged it back towards the Islander line, but now Grabner put it right over the glove of the goaltender Lettman. Recovered by Hickey with the Islanders changing. Boy, they're lucky that they didn't get caught. It looked like, have to see it again, but it looked like the Islanders had an extra man on there before they got that change in.
Yeah, you can get away with the player change if you're near the bench and you don't play the puck and the guy coming out doesn't get too much involved. The linesman will give you some leeway.
Here come the Islanders back in. Tavares to the backhand, Lettman the save, and the rebound went beyond the reach of first Nelson, then Vanek. Tavares keeps the pressure on Cole, who knocks Tavares down, and Eric Cole pounds it off the boards, and it rolls all the way down, but not far enough for an icing.
That's the second or third turnover in the neutral zone that the Dallas Stars have committed, and the Islanders have been able to transition.
Heavily in trouble. Vanek centers, Tavares scores! And the Islanders tie it 2-2.
Well, talk about a turnover. Again, the Dallas Stars turn it over. This time they turn it over to the wrong two guys, Tavares and Vanek. And what a pass by Thomas Vanek. We talk about these guys. Sometimes they get a little cute for my liking, but boy, they've got skills and they've got eyes in the back of their head and they have great hockey sense. And watch there, there's the turnover right there. Now the back between the backs passes, and thank you very much for playing. That's going to the net. Beverly, usually very good. There's a great backhand pass. John Tavares is going to miss that little tap in. That's like standing under the basket, just throwing it into about 4-foot basket. That's going to go in each and every time. So big goal for the Islanders, and Lindy Ruff is called timeout. And that's why, because there's been too many turnovers in the neutral zone, and he has just given it to them.
Well, the Islanders are kind of steamrolling, at least to an extent, the Dallas Stars here, as they have had all 7 shots taken during the second period. And as excited as Tavares was about the goal that tied the game, he was equally, if not more excited. I don't think you can say Lindy Ruff feels the same way, but Tavares was excited about the pass, that Vanek knew where he was, that chemistry that sometimes evolves over time. You take for granted the fact that Tavares and Matt Olson almost seem to have it from the first time they played together in the NHL. Well, it's taken a little longer for John to develop that with Vanek, but it sure looks like it's coming.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. You have to learn each other's style. And Vanek is a guy that is a great goal scorer, but he's also a wonderful playmaker with great hockey sense. John Tavares has the presence of mind there, Howie, to stop in front of the net. Don't forget about that play.
Stars back in. 3 Islanders now in deep as they turn it over, and Horcoff missed a pass there that results in an icing. He was looking for Fiddler, but pass missed Fiddler, and the Islanders continue to control this second period.
I just watched on Matt Martin go down there, and Thomas Vanek, 9-game point streak, career high. Now he's playing well. He's got all the offensive skills in the world of that line, whether it's Brock Nelson or Kyle Okposo. The threesome is pretty strong. We're just watching Matt Martin, who hasn't scored in a long time. Well, he has an opportunity, Howie, right down the middle of the ice, and banging on the boards because he knows that he should have shot the puck.
Tavares' goal was his 18th, set up by Vanek. You know, over the last 2 seasons, only Alex Ovechkin has more goals than John Tavares. A lot more. Ovechkin's 63 to Tavares' 46, but I don't know if a lot of people would necessarily guess that John Tavares would have the second highest number of goals over the last 2 seasons in the NHL.
Yeah, but you don't expect it with a centerman, Howie. The wingers are supposed to shoot the puck, and the centerman, that's why they're centermen. They look to pass, and the gifted ones can do both, Crosby and Tavares.
Chance at the side of the net. And the whistle blows prematurely, if you ask Jamie Benn. We didn't, neither did the referee. But Strome and Tavares combined to tie this game. 7:35 to go in the second. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Islanders had been struggling on the faceoffs over the last few games, but tonight, even though they're going up against a couple of the best, Rich Peverley and Jamie Benn, Tavares and Nielsen, not Nelson, but Tavares and Nielsen have been solid on faceoffs.
Yeah, Franz is 5 of 7, and John Tavares is 6 of 9. So, that just tells me, it's all about focus. It's all about concentration, and that's an area that, you need to excel. Without stating the obvious, how it gives you the control, and now the opposition's got to chase you to get it back. So if you're having a good night on the faceoffs, generally speaking, you're having a good night on the ice.
And from the draw, DeHaan puts it into the corner. Tavares threw it out to center. There is official word from the Islanders, but only that Evgeny Nabokov will not return because of what is being announced as a lower body injury. But the Islanders now will hope that Kevin Poulin stays in one piece the rest of the night, or the scramble will really be on.
Great outlet pass there. Travis Hamonic finding Thomas Vanek squeaking down the wind. Now we talk about how well Travis Hamonic plays, and tomorrow now I talked about the Olympics and his hopes to maybe get on that team.
Here's Tavares shooting, and that's deflected. Looked like it went off of Daly. And out of play.
Yeah, he's even touching his chin a little bit.
Follow through.
Yeah, exactly right. He got his stick in the way of the shot, but John Tavares following through, wanting to get as much into it as he could. There's a drop pass, good move by Tavares, and a hesitation, a quick shot, and then you can see right away that Daly gets a stick, and then John Tavares' stick continues right on up the shaft. Daly goes off. John Tavares probably would have been better served to shoot it right away, but again, I'm not questioning him. The game's pretty easy from up here.
Regan replaced Nielsen, won the draw. Hickey scampers towards the net. A backhander short side, swept into the corner. And out Cole, hemmed in by Nielsen.
Yeah, great play there by Thomas Hickey. You win the faceoff back there. A lot of times there's time and space down the side of the boards towards the net. Thomas Hickey took advantage of it.
Here's Bailey shooting it off a leg, gets it again, put it out in front. Regan scores, and the Islanders lead it 3-2.
Well, there's a happy camper. Peter Regan hasn't scored in I don't know how long now, way back in Phoenix in the first week, so he's been trying to find ways to get goals. He's been begging, would steal one if he could, but he's continued to work hard. That's one thing I will say about Peter Regan. Playing the fourth line or the third line doesn't matter. He's continued to work hard, but this is a great play by Josh Bailey. He stays with it. Again, he keeps the feet moving and is able to lay a perfect pass on Regan, who gets into the opening. Talk about a couple of guys, getting some offense done. Bailey happy for Regan. And again, watch Josh Bailey as he keeps himself moving, and Regan right in the perfect position. So big goal for the Islanders.
October the 8th. Last time Regan had scored 33 games. And now Martin flings one wide, and Butchie, as poorly as the Islanders played in the second period on Saturday night against Carolina, is how dominant they've been in the second period here tonight against Dallas.
And you look at the two games and the difference in the focus, Howie. They've been willing to chip the puck in and go and get it. They've bared down on faceoffs, and then when they've had the puck, they've been able to move their feet and get it to the hole and talk about puck retrieval. So, a different team tonight.
He's giving up 61 second period goals coming into this game, most in the league, and they've only given up one shot with 9:44 to go in the second period. They've scored 3 times to take the lead now, 3-2. Bailey and Hickey assist on Regan's second at 9:29.
And that exemplifies just exactly what the Islanders are about tonight. Matt Martin battles with Horkoff just inside the blue line and refused to give up the puck, was able to get it down deep. So that's the effort the Islanders are giving tonight.
Now the puck worked around to Daly in the far corner. And again, the Stars don't clear. DeHaan fires, blocked in front. Looked like it was Sagan who made the block, but it's recovered by Grabner. And Hamonic snaps it wide. The Islander retrievals have been tremendous. They have won almost all of the loose pucks here in the second period.
Now the Dallas Stars are not moving their feet. They're slow reacting, and the Islanders are the complete opposite. They're moving their feet. They're reacting. They're jumping on the Stars. We saw Clutterbuck just steal the puck from Daly in front of the net. So good effort there, and that created another opportunity. So everything's going in the right direction for the Islanders, but it's because they're working hard, got their feet moving, and they've got their focus, no doubt about it.
Stars are off of a 5-game homestand where they won a couple, lost a couple, and picked up a loser point. This game begins their tour of the metropolitan area, albeit the Devils and then the Rangers beginning a few days from now.
The coach won't be happy with the way they played defense. He was talking to me today, and he said, you can't, in today's game, outscore your way out of trouble anymore. In the old days, yeah, you could. Today's game, you cannot. There are too many teams that play too solid a game of defense, so you've got to learn to win those 1-0 games.
There's a turnover. Cole shoots, knocked away. Cole on the rebound, put it to the side of the net. Hickey trying to punch it into the corner. Tavares just flings it off the boards. And he's probably iced it here, and he has.
Yeah, good save by Poulin down low, though he helps his cause, but diving off the side of the net with a poke check. You see a little disturbance going on down with Hickey.
Big Eric Cole.
Yeah, that's not a good match for Thomas Hickey. You got to pick the guys that are closer to your size. Big Eric Cole, who gets in front of the net, but Thomas Hickey's not going to back away from anybody. He's really solidified his game over the last month. Keeping his game simple, as he'll tell you, moving up on the play. I love it when he jumps up on the play, because I think that's a part of his game that he has to have on a regular basis. You can't just play defense in today's game anymore. There's no such thing as a defensive specialist. Now you've got to have offense.
And we've seen offense in this game. A little more than halfway through, 5 goals. We're talking about possible track meet tonight. Well, it's kind of been one-sided in the second period as far as the Islanders scoring all 3 goals, but this is one of the relatively few times the puck's been in their end for any length of time. Nichushkin, the Goligoski shoots, save made by Poulin. Nichushkin put the rebound wide, and Nelson fails to clear. Ben got back, kept it in, and then Poulin holds on to the dribbler. 7:32 remaining second period. A relieved Regan has the Islanders in front. Up 3-2 here in the second period. The New York Islanders' upcoming schedule is brought to you by Lexus, and it'll all be on the road, where they fared very well recently. Now they'll be in Toronto tomorrow night, Colorado Friday, and then back to face the Stars in Dallas on Sunday.
Now you look at those two guys. Thomas Hickey not all that happy with Big Eric Cole as he's battling. Watch the mugging right here. I wonder the Islanders are a little bit upset. If I was Thomas Hickey, I'd be a little upset too.
Fiddler behind the Islander net. Looks for a play. He's well covered. Headed back to the blue line. Worked around the boards by Connaughton. And Tavares. Nielsen, pardon me, trying to nudge it ahead to Regan. Couldn't get it there. Connaughton steers it back in. Andrew McDonald. Pitched by Connaughton. And Fiddler lifts one right into the catching glove of Kevin Poulin.
Well, Dallas Stars get a little bit of a push. Started off by the Seguin line, which you expect them to create some sort of offense, and then the Fiddler line comes in. They're the graybeards for the Dallas Stars with Horkoff, Fiddler, and Whitney. Of course, Whitney plus 40 and Horkoff about 35. So in today's game, that means you're a graybeard, but good solid shift. You know that most teams respond after their coach kind of gives them a little verbal attack. Lindy Ruff certainly did that in that timeout by the Dallas team.
So back in the Islanders zone, Jordy Ben, and now Cole on right wing. Chiasson, quick shot that went wide, a hard carom. Ben got back to the blue line. Daly hustles over to the far boards. Trevor Daly, the defenseman, put an airborne pass beyond a lot of reaches until Cole slaps it back, then gets tangled up with Cizikas, who knocks Cole down. Cizikas is going to get a penalty here.
I don't know if it's going to be both of them or holding or what have you.
Well, I know Cizikas is going. We'll see about Cole.
Certainly the fans think it's an incorrect call. We'll watch the replay there. there's Cole as he lands right on top of him. Casey said, well, there's the chip right there. So that's a pretty good call, really, when you look at it by the referees. But Eric Cole didn't make any effort not to fall rather heavily, rather mightily on Casey Cizikas. So Casey trying to get away with one.
So a holding penalty on Cizikas at 13:33.
Casey needs a stick. Yeah, Casey needs a stick. He's banging at in the penalty box. And John Tavares is going to go over to the penalty box. They're going to bring Casey Cizikas a stick.
I think John cared if the referee was paying attention or not. He had to make sure Cizikas was equipped to come out of the penalty box, but in all likelihood there would have been a whistle anyway between now and the 2-minute mark, assuming the Islanders kill it.
Now you just open the gate up and create a disturbance.
And wins the draw. Seguin fires off the arm of Poulin. Well, the Stars spread the power play out. Goligoski to Benn. Maybe Benn feeds the corner. This crosses with Chiasson, who gets the return feed from Goligoski. And now Cole, a quick feed to Seguin. The drive by Goligoski missed the net. Brian Straight under siege. But the Islanders get to it and Hamonic clears.
Before that clear, pretty good puck movement by the Dallas team. That's something as a coach you want to see your power play not hold on to it too long. Howie, not overthink the process, move it in a hurry.
Islanders wait for Goligoski. Benn makes a hard pass. Seguin couldn't hold it, and it comes over the line. Seguin gets it back to Goligoski, and he'll throw it into the corner. Cole gets to it first. Eric Cole behind the net. Benn centers. Poulin made a stop on Chiasson.
Nice read by Kevin Poulin, the short side pass out in front from Jamie Benn behind the net. A good entry for the Stars. Goligoski dumping it into the coffin corner on the far side. Eric Cole was there right away. In behind the net to Benn, who quickly gets it out in front to Chiasson. But good read by Kevin Poulin. He was all about it. He knew where the puck was. He could see it over his left shoulder and wasn't going to leave that post. So good reactionary save by Kevin Poulin. We have to remember, Howie, he still hasn't played an awful lot of hockey at the NHL level, so he's a goaltender that's really, learning his trade on the job.
Volkov had started 10 of the last 11. We have no idea how much time, if any, beyond tonight he'll miss.
2 face-off losses for the Islanders. First it was Jamie Benn, and then Parbley both went and draws right back to the defenseman.
And again, the Islanders recover the puck and clear.
Yeah, able to clear it, but they were very good on the face-off the first half of this game. Effective penalty killing you need to win those face-offs in your own zone. Stars
Into the Islanders zone. Pressure from Grabner, but it's just kept at the line by Gonchar. That hopped over Nichushkin's stick. Backed up by Aiken. Peverly steers it to the boards. Waiting on it is Ray Whitney. He lets a long drive go that hit Nichushkin. 17 to go to the Dallas power play. Gonchar has a big shot if he gets room to let it go. Now to Whitney. Whitney looks for a play down low. Stuff job. Peverly stop. Rebound. Score. Nichushkin. It'll be a power play goal. There were 5 seconds left on the penalty to Cizikas, and the Stars have tied the game 3-3.
Yeah, not sure if Michael Grabner doesn't put this puck in his own net. He's down in front of the net. He has pretty good position. Again, the Islanders, the Dallas Stars with good puck movement, patience. Starts with Gonchar. Gonchar gets it over to Whitney, and Whitney gets it down low. Watch the puck movement. Going to shift down. There's Peverly. Takes it to the front of the net. Now it's loose. And you're right. Nichushkin's able to get his long reach in there and pull it right away from Michael Grabner. So the Islanders are back in numbers, but the skill of Nichushkin and the length of his stick, able to push that one past Poulin.
Think about Nichushkin. 18 years old. He'll turn 19 in March. That's a line that's centered by Jamie Benn, who's the old man at 24. 21-year-old Tyler Seguin. And then Sagan's actually the center on that line, but you get the idea. You've got Seguin at 21, Benn at 24, Nichushkin at 18. And they compete together and really, really good for a long, long time.
Yeah, they really can. If they can keep them there if the salary cap allows them to, but that's an awful skilled line. It has size, creativity, big shots, some toughness. As I mentioned, Ben will not back away from anybody. So you're right, Howie. That's a real line for now and for the future.
You're right too about those salary cap issues, which somehow and sometimes prevent teams from keeping their best players together for a significant length of time. Behind the net is Jordy Ben, the fiddler.
There's a penalty as Nelson's obstructed by Garbutt.
So the Islanders will have the power play when we get back. 4:03 to go, second period. 4:03 remaining in the second period. Islanders getting set to go on a power play. Wednesday night on MSG, freshman sensation Julius Randle leads Kentucky in an SEC showdown against Mississippi State. Live Wednesday night at 8 on MSG.
Well, the Islanders are going to go on a power play because Garbutt just gets a little lazy, loses his discipline. You don't need to take a penalty in the neutral zone when you've got speed. All you have to do is keep your feet moving. They just got the game tied, but now the Islanders have an opportunity to get on that power play and retake the lead.
29 seconds after the Stars tie the game, they take the penalty, and the Islanders go to their second power play, and they scored on their first. That really got them moving here in the second period as they trailed 2-0 coming in. Now the game tied. McDonald, Nielsen, Strome, Tavares, and Vanek, the Islander power play unit. McDonald, watched by Roussel, now to Vanek, and Nielsen. Nielsen drifts back. Now to Strome. And Strome towards the corner. McDonald, Tavares, McDonald, Tavares, closing in, feeds Strome. He couldn't hold it, but he recovers.
He lifted his head up, he was thinking about shooting, and then it just bounced on him.
Now Strome, waiting, holding, good feed, Vanek to Tavares, back towards Vanek, but it went off his stick, and he's turned around, dumped by Dillon. Tavares recovers, put it out in front, pitched away by Roussel, winds up in the corner. Goligoski trying to clear here, and he does.
What a great play there by John Tavares. Got that pass behind him with Ryan Strome. Tried to throw it back in the slot area, right back to Ryan Strome, knowing full well, Howie, that he would come jump back out on the short side of the net.
Islanders power play is brought to you by New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. Bailey in the corner, kicks it back to Clutterbuck. Donovan to Clutterbuck, quick shot, that went wide. Karam's behind Hamonic, out of the zone, been challenging. Gets it to the other side. And now has it again.
Couldn't get it to lie down. How he was rolling on him, bounced right over his stick.
Travis Hamonic, Nelson. And Letton kicks it around the boards, but Nelson recovers to Clutterbuck. Clutterbuck keeps possession. Back to the blue line to Hamonic. Penalty is over. Clutterbuck turns, put it out in front. Nelson had a poke at it. Jamie Benn just ices it. Unless the race is won here, and icing is waved off as Garbutt did a good job to neutralize the potential icing, and the Islanders did not manage a shot on that power play.
One of the assets of Garbutt is he's feisty, as we've seen him finish his checks, but he also very, very fast. Can score goals.
Now the puck missed at the blue line, but Connaught carries into the corner. McDonald gets to it first for the Islanders. Colin McDonald to Martin. And Martin to Cizikas. Back to the blue line with Straight. Jams it back in behind the net. Jason stepped in front of Cizikas. Good job by Straight, who read that. And now McDonald back in the corner. Whirls it around to the near side. Cole trying to lift it up the boards. Gets it out of the zone, but he's decked by Martin as he does so. Reach the final minute of the second period. Score tied at 3. Stars back in onside. Good hit by Martin on Beverly. And Martin really throwing his body around on this shift.
Well, he had the good angle, too, and he didn't have to worry about taking a boarding penalty.
McDonald trying to get away from Whitney. Horkoff broke it up, and on comes Fiddler. It's stick check by DeHaan. Got it loose. Bouncing puck. Grabbed by Nelson. Nelson moving well into the Dallas zone to the slot. Shoots. He scores! Beautiful play by Brock Nelson. And the Islanders regain the lead. It's 4-3 New York as Nelson scores with 27.5 seconds remaining in the second period.
A big goal for the Islanders. Gives them a little momentum going into that third period with a nice one-goal lead. But that's a great individual effort That's one of the reasons why they drafted this kid, is that he has size, he has skating ability, he has talent. Watch the move as he continues to get his feet moving, and then back to the forehand, the good wrist shot, and Letton's not able to squeeze it, but look at that good move. Coming to your forehand. Terrific hockey sense there by Brock Nelson, recognizing he's got the defenseman turning the wrong direction, swings it back to the forehand on a nice wrist shot.
I just want to point out that my partner Butch Goring said during our production meeting before the game, he envisioned a 6-5 game tonight. It is Islanders 4, Dallas 3, with 18.2 seconds remaining in the second period. Got to go back, well, almost 1 calendar year for what it's worth. The last time the Islanders scored 4 goals in the period, but to them it's worth plenty, because especially in the second period, everything's been hard to come by.
Yeah, it's been real tough, but they've been doing it the right way, Howie. You know, we talk about just playing good, solid hockey, chipping it in when you have to, and carrying it in when you get the opposition to back off a little bit. So it's been a much more powerful period for the New York Islanders than, say, the other night, where they just made a lot of mistakes here as Bennett.
It looks like
Vanek, is it?
Yeah, I think they're both going to get penalties here with 3.5 remaining in the period.
Well, that's an equal, what would you say, exchange, Ben and Vanek. Whether you're a Dallas fan or you're a New York Islander fan, two real talented individuals.
Ben's headed to the box. Vanek is headed to the Islander room. It really doesn't matter. And now Ben's going to go to the Dallas room.
Yeah, if you can't serve your penalty in its entirety, they will send you off and to prevent further altercations and allow you to get a jump on whatever you think you might need to do in between periods.
Beat your teammate to the refreshments.
Well, that too, if it's near the end of the game.
So, there'll be a face-off in the Islanders zone with 4.7 left.
Islanders making sure they go to the right guy.
Goligoski just throws one towards the net. The Pulic steers aside. So the Islanders, with a 4-goal second period, have their second lead of the game. It's 4-3. Ryan Strome gets the pat on the back from Brent Thompson as Ryan has scored his first National Hockey League goal. That was the ignition switch for the Islanders here in the second period.
Yeah, he got him started on, and it's kind of like a double bonus on that goal, because it wasn't just Ryan Strome's first goal, it was a power play goal, and that's always a momentum changer, and it changed it in a very positive way for the Islanders.
Islanders outshot the Stars 11-6 in the second period, 25-17 through 2 periods. So, a lot of scoring here in the second, but when it ended, the Islanders left with a lead. It's 4-3 New York. Peter joins us right after these messages. So the Islanders, led by Kevin Poulin, take a 4-3 lead onto the ice to start the third period. Here is our game recap, brought to you by Tri-Honda Dealers. And apart from the names and the statistics that have built this lead, don't forget 2 things. Kyle Okposo not playing. We don't know if he'll play tomorrow or not in Toronto. Okposo's wife Danielle giving birth to their first child earlier today, a daughter named Eliana. And during this game, Evgeny Nabokov suffering what they're calling right now a lower body injury. It looked to be to his right side, which is the same side on which he injured his groin and missed a month not too long ago. All we know right now, lower body will not return. Now, as far as the Cadillac trivia question is concerned, let's go back. Al Arbour, the NHL record holder with 740 wins. 4 others, that's with 1 team, of course. There will be fedoras, at least one of them, that will enter into the equation here. That was worn by Billy Ray and Hector Toe Blake. Haven't seen Lindy Ruff in a fedora, have you?
No, and neither would Barry Trotz wear a fedora. And most people wouldn't think of Barry Trotz as a guy that that many wins with the same team, but he has the longest tenure of anybody in the entire National Hockey League right now, since Lindy Ruff moved from Buffalo over to Dallas. He didn't look like he was unhappy when moving there. He said, the transition actually went pretty smooth. Howie, the systems and all that, they had a very good training camp, and the players are, he's starting to get to know their personalities. That's the big thing. That's the biggest transition. Knowing the buttons to push with all of these guys. So far, he said he's enjoying it.
And again, 4-on-4 to start this third period with Ben and Vanek in the penalty box. Penalties they took right near the end of that second period. McDonald to the slot. Hickey shoots. The save made. And reaching out to grab it and hold on is Lettinen.
Lettinen was leaning a little bit away from the post as Michael Grabner was out front of that, feeling in a little bit of pain, but Thomas Hickey jumping up on the play, and there's the good wrist shot, creating an opportunity. You can see Michael Grabner is bowled over in front by Goligoski. Still wincing just a little bit. Well, you talk about Olympic teams, though, Howie. The Austrian Olympic team will be announced also tomorrow, and expecting Vanek and Grabner to be on it.
Just Peter Nedved is going to play on the Czech team with Jaromir Jagr. Daly fires at a save by Poulin, and Daly from the dot, clear path, let one go, and Poulin stopped him.
Good save, aggressive save. Again, Poulin continues to work on his angles and get in his position at the top of the crease. Well, if Peter Nedved makes that team, then I don't like the Czech team all that much, because to me, he's long gone from this league.
Peter Nedved is.
Yeah, Nedved, so there's no way.
Nedved and Jagr were in the same draft class in the NHL. It was Nolan, Nedved, Mike Ricci, Keith Primo, and Jaromir Jagr back in 1990. And, the Russians are first going to name their team tomorrow, I believe it is. And remember, they had their coaches here. Here's Daly darting to the net, gets a shot off, and Poulin stopped him. Now you wonder about Evgeny Nabokov's availability potentially for the Russian Olympic team.
Yeah, they were eyeing him as a possible third goaltender. Obviously, Kadlec in Colorado had an outstanding season. Nabokov, not so how serious his injury is.
38 remaining to the 4-on-4. Here's Tavares into the zone. Grabner to the net. Straight shoots. He scores! Brian Straight in the 4-on-4 sequence gives the Islanders a 5-3 lead. For Straight, his second regular season National Hockey League goal.
A couple of really good things happened on that goal, Howie. First, John Tavares makes a move at the red line as he's able to get around the Dallas forechecker, and then he looks right into the slot area and is able to see Straight wants to move there. Going around Eric Cole and doesn't look, no look pass. He knows Brian Straight's there. Michael Grabner in front of the net, a bit of a distraction. And there's the quick shot, quick release shot as he gets it through the Dallas forward.
Straight had a goal in the playoffs against Pittsburgh. He also had one at Madison Square Garden against the Rangers a couple of weeks ago. And now his second regular season goal. Tavares set it up.
He's hot.
24.
I guess he's hot, Howie. But it's the quick release and is able to get past. Watch Tavares again with a good quick pull move. Gets by Eric Cole, but look at Straight. Moves up into the opening there, and there's the quick shot. He gets it past Gonchar. No chance there.
John Tavares has 3 points. He started this game tied in points, 6th and 7th, along with Patrick Sharp, 6th, 7th, and 8th if you throw Nicholas Backstrom into the mix. And Tavares now has 49 points on the year. Straight across to McDonald, and here come Ben and Vanek, so back to 5-on-5 plus the goalies. But the Islanders, who trailed by 2 earlier, now lead by 2. And Cole for Dallas. Checked by Franz Nielsen, works it around to the far side, and that slips out of the zone.
Well, it's the kind of start the Islanders really needed in the third period. With a 1-goal lead, they couldn't afford to sit back. A couple of good saves by Poulin to start the third period, and the Islanders were able to fight back and create an opportunity set up by John Tavares.
Jamie Benn tried to play it all the way across. Regan picked that off. DeHaan got the second assist on Straight's goal, so Calvin DeHaan has a couple of assists in this game.
Smart move, get it up to Tavares early and then watch him go to work, Howie.
It's pretty good strategy. Matt Donovan off the stick of Regan. And the puck sent ahead by Goligoski. told you earlier, the Dallas Stars under new ownership, new head coach, Jim Nill, longtime assistant with the Detroit Red Wings, now the general manager. And it also includes a new look on the ice. These are new uniforms, and they are some of the best looking, more traditional looking hockey jerseys that have been unveiled in a while, huh?
Yeah, nothing, crazy about them. They're just very, very simple. Get their point across. Easy to read as far as the numbers are concerned, Howie. That helps us, obviously, particularly you.
And the fans, too. It's going to be a penalty to the Islanders here. Kari Lehtonen looked like, I don't know if he was bumped into or if he did something else just moving, but he's in some distress. Casey Cizikas trying to get a word in with the referee. Looks like Casey's gone to the penalty box.
Yeah, his trip to the goaltender interference, his second trip to the box. And Casey Cizikas is not a frequent renter of that particular facility. Watch Casey Cizikas as you're going to see him as he heads toward the net. I don't know how that's going to. That to me is not a very good call. I mean, I try to be fairly objective, but that's not a very good call. That's really embellished. Really embellished by Lehtonen as he's pushed into the net first off by the Dallas Stars, and then Lehtonen just helps him and says, oh, let me go down here.
I guess the only reason they sent Cizikas to the box, and we're having some fun with this, obviously everybody just saw what we did.
Look at Doug Weight.
They can't believe the call. You could, if the penalty box were big enough, I guess they could send the goal cage in, because that really was the culprit and why Lehtonen went down.
That's not a very good call. Let's just tell it like it is, Howie.
Well, here's Regan now moving with Nielsen. Dane towards Dane, and the shot stopped. The rebound held by Lehtonen. So the good friends, Regan and Nielsen, perhaps looking to combine on a goal.
Not that good of friends because he didn't pass on the puck.
Well, he went 33 games without a goal until tonight.
You know what? It's a great play by Peter. I'm just putting him on a little bit. Look at the pull move. You're looking to give it to Frans Nielsen, but then he's checked on the last second. Coming back was Ben and everything else trying to help out the defense, obviously, on that 4-on-4 play. But Peter Regan, nice pull job, looking to see if he can make a play. And Frans Nielsen's talking to him and saying, hey, I know you tried to make the right play.
Looks like Doug Weight still gets a kick out of how that whole penalty evolved.
Doug Weight was telling me the other day, it's the one part of the game that he's still trying to deal with is, the emotions of what goes on in the referee and you get upset.
Gonchar's shot goes off the stick of Andrew MacDonald. 1:26 remaining on the penalty to Cizikas. Up comes Clutterbuck, but he's stripped by Eakin.
You don't win a lot of battles with the referees.
Now Whitney plays it cross ice. Hamonic gets to it first and clears.
No, that was too many men on the ice too, and Beverly's arguing at that point as he was bumped right, interfered with the exchange of players.
Nielsen set up Regan there, and Regan just drove it over the net. Short-handed though.
Well, you score a goal, the first one in a long time. I can tell you one thing, Howie, you feel a whole lot better about yourself. Your legs are working.
Whitney feeds Goligoski, and across, and the one-timer deflected wide. Seguin took the shot, now retrieves the puck.
Seguin has a great one-timer.
Chuskin missed it. Hamonic fires it around. Whitney waiting on it, but he just about gave it away to Nielsen. Here comes Nielsen. He's got Regan on his left. Nielsen to Regan. Penalty coming. Regan stopped by Lehtonen. And the Stars will get a penalty here. They'll play 4-on-4 for 21 seconds, and then the Islanders will have a power play for 1:39.
Now there was a hook on Frans Nielsen as he kept his feet moving. Whitney, watch Whitney right in the circle. Now watch the hook. There it is, right in between right up around waist area, and the referee was quick to call it. Peter Regan does get a good shot away. Has a little more time than he thinks. It's a beautiful pass by Frans Nielsen. I'd like to have seen him go to the backhand. It would have been an easy goal for him, but a good wrist shot for Peter Regan.
The Islanders outshot the Stars 3-0 during Dallas's power play.
Well, the fans are into it tonight, and the fans are just dying for these guys to put something together to win a game at home, Howie. They've been just awful at home when you talk about winning games outright.
Well, they did. Hickey fires one that stopped. They did win that game against Chicago on Thursday night. On the Poso's overtime goal. Ben Daly didn't get everything on that shot. Now it's wrapped towards the near boards. In 6 seconds, Cizikas comes out. Still 4-on-4. As Ben to Daly. Cizikas out of the box. Now it's an Islander power play. Poulin trying to cover the puck, but not. He's lost his stick. And off the crossbar, the shot from Jordy Ben. Well, this is something that's happened a lot to Kevin Poulin. Losing his stick. Andrew MacDonald just tried to slide it to him. Now with the Islanders in possession, Poulin has time to reach back for it. But that's something worth wondering about, why Kevin Poulin continues to lose control of that goal stick.
It needs to be maybe a little bit stronger. Again, he's a young guy. Goaltenders sometimes forget about working on their strength. It's just as important as it is for him as it is for a forward.
Tavares to the net, he scores! Power play goal, 6-3 New York. And John Tavares was given all kinds of time and space coming out of the corner.
Now he took advantage of it, turning to go towards the net, and Dallas defenders decided to try and play the pass, thinking Tavares might pass it. Well, it fooled them all. He just kept coming towards the net, and then was able to get to his backhand and get it past Letton. Watch Tavares, he's got his head up. Everybody backs off, looking to take away the pass. A lack of communication in front of the net, and John Tavares is on his backhand, able to get crossed, and there's the quick spin move, forehand, backhand. You can see there's a lot of stars back there, but they just were playing pass all the way, and Tavares said, okay, if you're going to take away my passing lanes, I'm just going to go to the net with it.
All right, 4-point night for Tavares, and here's the deal. If Peter Regan scores a goal, chances are the Islanders are going to score 6, because when Regan last scored before tonight, it was in a 6-1 win against the Phoenix Coyotes, and here the Islanders have their second 6-goal game of the season, leading 6-3.
What are you saying, Regan should score more often, Howard?
Well, if he does, everybody else will. You subscribe to that very, very, very minute sample.
I like it. A big night for John Tavares. Without Kyle Oposo, Tavares has stepped his game up. And Brock Nelson has played very well. And we talked at the top of the show, Howie, about that, how there's good chemistry there.
Lettman reached forward and missed. And again, worth pointing out, the Islanders trailed this game 2-0 going into the second period. They had lost Nabokov to injury. And you had to be wondering what the future held in this game for the Islanders, but boy, their second period was one of the best periods they've played all year.
Slow starts is not new to the Islanders, and they seem to do well with those slow starts. It's not some theory I would advocate for, though.
Andrew MacDonald picked up the second assist on Tavares' power play goal. Nielsen got the first assist at 16-19. And so MacDonald now has assists in 5 straight games. The last Islander defenseman to do that was James Wisniewski, who wasn't with the team for very long a few years ago, but I believe he scored for Columbus tonight against the Rangers at Madison Square Garden. Last look, Columbus was leading that game 3-1. Donovan, a shot slapped away in front of the net by Aiken. And stolen back by Tavares.
Islanders are smelling blood. There's just no doubt about it. They've got their mojo, 6 goals, and they want more.
Well, they get one more, and that'll be their season's high. 11:38 to go in the third. They've outshot the Stars 33-20. Stroman drive. And a piece of that by Lettman. And it deflects out of play. 11:32 remaining, third period. Islanders up 6-3, 11:32 to go in the third period. Tomorrow night at 7 on MSG+, the Islanders take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Live coverage gets underway with Visa Islanders game night at 6:30. Islanders Maple Leafs tomorrow night on MSG+.
Well, we talked about transition through the neutral zone, how the fast-paced game. Well, watch number 46 at the bottom of your screen, right in this area. That's Donovan up to the winger. Quick pass through the middle. Clutterbuck kicks it into the middle. Ryan Strome's right there. That's perfect transition. And that's when we talk about a fast-paced game. Get the puck up in a hurry. Creates offense for your team.
Well, this has been a good night, Butch, for some Islander draft picks. Ryan Strome, Brock Nelson, Calvin DeHaan all played very, very well.
Oh, the future of the New York Islanders. You're right, Howie. They've had a good, solid game. But for the most part, they focused in on some pretty good D. The Dallas defense have jumped up on the play and created some issues for him. Daly, in particular, has been really up on the ice and had some offensive chances. But the Islanders have been much better in their own zone.
It looks like the linesman, Tim Nowak, got the worst of that.
Little pat from Gonchar.
Yeah, they don't have those shoulder pads like Gonchar's wearing.
No, not at all. They've got the shin guards. There's the quick flip by Gonchar, and he zings it off the back, and that's smart because you're right. You don't have any padding in a lot of those areas, so the referees are always trying to get out of the way with slap shots and wrist shots. Now a lot of them wear shields because sometimes you don't see it coming.
Dahan behind the net cues it away from Seguin. And here is Cizikas, manning to Martin. Cizikas charging towards the net. Martin tried to get it there. Now he finds Cizikas in the corner. Colin McDonald in on the forecheck. It's Connaughton.
This line's been quietly solid all night. Good hard work by McDonald, Martin, and Casey Cizikas. That's what they're supposed to be, just quietly efficient.
It looked like Martin might have been held there by Daly. That's what fans were upset about. Save made by Letney. Seguin throws it out. Batted ahead by Nichushkin, but Hamonic first to get it. 10-16, remaining in the third period.
You can see that the Islanders' support to the puck carrier has been very solid. Anytime the puck's been dumped in the zone, the defenseman's back, but also a forward has been able to get back in good position to lend support. It's been very, very obvious the entire night. We're watching it down there. Again, pick up the loose puck because there's good support in the defensive zone there by Bailey.
McDonald gains the Dallas blue line. Bailey looks forward. Beverly all over him. Regan in to help out. Peter Regan, between killing penalties, the goal he scored, the ones he almost did on the penalty kill, has had his best game probably all year.
He's skating extremely well, working hard, getting an opportunity. With Kyle Oposo out, he might be back the next game. You never know when your last shift, so you want to make sure you make the most of it, particularly if you've struggled scoring. You've been on the bubble a little bit, so Peter Regan now gets one of the monkeys off his back. The no goals for a long period of time.
You know, that's a big thing. You mentioned Oposo, and so much of the Islanders scoring has come from that first line, and you wondered, when you got the news Kyle wasn't going to play tonight because of the birth of his daughter, you might have wondered, now what? Well, Brock Nelson goes up to that line with Tavares. He scores a goal. Regan contributes. Again, his best game probably as an Islander. And that's picked up the slack. Ryan Strome with his first goal in the NHL. Goligoski has one blocked by Nelson. He'll take off after it. Squeezed to the boards by Goligoski. He'll get some help defensively from Garbutt.
We talk about tertiary scoring. Am I right with that, Howie?
Tertiary, yeah,
tertiary scoring. Yeah, well, that's talk about balanced attack. These are my Twitter fans that are helping me out.
Were they educating you after last time?
Yeah, they're take the good with the bad. This was good. Good knowledge.
Yes, it was secondary scoring, not tertiary scoring.
Well, I like tertiary scoring. That's not all that bad either, but tertiary is the correct vocabulary.
Nowadays, it doesn't take long for the English teachers to get in touch. Used to be they have to write a letter.
Yes.
Now you just look at your Twitter page. Strome to Grabner. Surrounded. Escapes. That's escapes, by the way, not escapes. And here come the Stars to center, led by Horkov. Whitney going to the net, but the puck winds up in the corner. Doesn't that drive you nuts when people say escape?
Escape? We have a different dialect in Canada.
Grabner to the net, pushed it wide. And now Grabner behind the net. Really, is English sometimes?
Well, this is how we say things.
Nichushkin checked by Colin McDonald. You gotta like the Islanders' defensive commitment from all of the forwards in this game. They can back. Cizikas into the Dallas zone. Against Seguin. Cizikas springs loose. Throws it right through the goal mouth.
How many times have you said that, Howie? Some Islander springs loose. Catch loose, has the puck, comes away from it in the corner. It's been the same theme all night.
Offside the call there. And it's been a good night for the Islanders despite the Nabokov injury. 7:19 left. 7:19 remaining in the third period. After the game, get reaction from Coach Capuano and the players, plus highlights and analysis on the Islanders postgame presented by A&A immediately following the action. And there's been plenty of it from an Islanders standpoint.
Well, we talked about the progress Kevin Dahan Watch this. This is a 3-on-2 for the Dallas Stars. That's Hamonic and DeHaan. Watch the play by DeHaan as he goes over right away, recognizes the play, and just takes away time and space. Yeah, he's got some pressure behind, but gets that stick extended, and now there's no play for the Dallas team. Well played by both Hamonic, but particularly DeHaan as he recognized where the pass was, jumped in before he could make that pass to his winger.
Coming up, the Foxwoods Final Five. Foxwoods, your destination for endless excitement. Group effort by the Islanders tonight. 12 different players have points, and every player, 17 of them above one, meaning among the skaters. Calvin DeHaan had a shot. Now Daly up for Cole. Gets it back from Peverley. Makes a move to the inside. Can't get a shot off. And jumping on it and firing it wide is Connaught. Now Peverley sets up in the corner, but it goes off DeHaan's stick and out of play.
A good recognition, or recognizing the offensive part.
Oh, you're right about
Well,
that.
I got a new one there now, so I got to recognize the play. But DeHaan gets his stick in the way, gets to his man in a hurry. Chiasson able to deflect that puck up. And you can see the Islanders, the communication was going on during that whole play as they're talking about who should go where, who should have gone there, whatever. It's all going well right now.
We're not on grammar. We're on pronunciations. Glove save made by Poulin on the shot by Gonchar. When you hear the bell, go to geography.
Yeah, well, I'm having fun tonight. The Islanders are having fun. You're having fun. King is listening to us. He's laughing. So Chris King, that is, he normally does the radio. Well, tonight he's observing you and I. That must be a thrill for him.
Well, that may ruin his career. But actually, we're real excited. Kinger's going to do a couple of games on this trip. Everybody's going to work on this trip. Jiggs will be on it. I'll be on it. Kinger will be on it. And Kinger's going to work. Was it 2 games on television, right? Dallas and Colorado?
Dallas and Colorado. But you're not working in its entirety. You're taking a little bit of a holiday. So, clarify that.
Well, yeah. I was asked to use the days that were allotted. I guess that's one way to look at it.
Exactly right.
Nielsen in the corner. Wouldn't you like to know who did the asking, too?
I'll pass on that one.
Hickey going back to get it in the Islanders zone.
No, you got to dump it in. Sorry, Thomas. You're having a good game. Don't ruin it.
Well, back comes Nichushkin, and Poulin makes the save, which kind of bails Hickey out.
Yeah, well, it's 6-3, and you want to get a little bit more aggressive-minded, but you got to stay focused. Well, the Islanders have been focused, Howie, the whole night. 6-3 for them.
Islanders up 6-3 with 5:38 remaining. You saw that note a moment ago that the Islanders have scored 6 goals against this franchise for the first time since it moved to Dallas. Back in the day when the franchise was known as the Minnesota North Stars, a kid who played collegiately at the University of Minnesota Duluth, who you saw in a between periods feature earlier tonight, named Glenn Chico Resch, played against the North Stars. The first game Chico ever played at the Coliseum. It was in February of 1974, and Chico and the Islanders, who were in their second year in the NHL, won that game 6-2. So that's how far back you go for 6-game performances here against Minnesota. Well, or the Stars franchise anyway. They were in Minnesota then. Nelson put it out in front. And you could tell from that very first game Chico played here, the fans were going to love him. He was animated. And then when you got to meet him after the game,
he would stop and talk to the fans for long periods of time. He enjoyed talking hockey and treated the fans with a lot of respect, so it wouldn't take him long to become a fan favorite or a media favorite for that matter.
Well, you bet. More than once, he had to be reminded somewhat forcefully by members of the equipment staff or the training staff, hey, we got a plane to catch. Let's go.
Or go home, one of two.
Slashing penalty coming up here. I think it's going to be Chiasson. He slashed the stick out of McDonald's hands. So you're watching the Foxwoods Final Five. Foxwoods, your destination for endless excitement. Visit foxwoods.com now as Chiasson visits the penalty box.
Jason scored 9 goals in his first 10 NHL games, Howie. I mean, this guy's got, you talk about get off to a hot start as he slashes the stick out of Andrew McDonald. Hasn't stayed all that hot, but that's a lot of goals, boy, when you're just breaking into the National Hockey League. Lindy Ruff is wishing he would have maybe done a couple of goals tonight for his team.
Lindy looked like he was just looking up at the clock there going, can you just start this thing and keep it going?
Yeah, that's when you get to that point as a coach where you know you're not going to win. It's one of those games.
Donovan's drive tipped wide. Islanders on their 4th power play. They're 2 for 3 with 3 shots. But meantime, Hamonic decked. And Travis Hamonic injured, but there'll be a penalty.
It looks like it's a high stick the way Travis is holding his face area.
Wonder if is that his nose or his mouth? I can't tell.
He's in a lot of pain. Well, Travis, as you know, took that shot in his mouth, was it a couple of years ago, so he has teeth issues. It's more like the jaw. Looks like he's stretching that out. That's a high-sticking penalty in 2 minutes as we watch the replay. And that's just an accidental high stick as he's trying to shake it loose. Garbutt wasn't intentionally trying to high stick him. He just had it tied up. So inadvertently hit him.
Chance for the Islanders to pad the numbers even more. Now they'll have a 5-on-3 for 1:44. And I don't know if Doug Weight was campaigning or petitioning for a major there. But it's a 2-minute minor at 15-13. So a lot of 5-on-3 time. McDonald to Tavares. Remember, Tavares has 2 goals. Tavares up high in the slot. This is Strome. Out in front. Letton a save on Nielsen. And no further play.
Good try by Ryan Strome trying to get that precise pass over to Frans Nielsen. The 5-on-3s, Howie, as I watch these things over the last few years, is that for me, everybody's trying to look because it's a 5-on-3 for that perfect play. And I really believe you've got to shoot the puck on the net and get everybody going down there because it gets everybody moving. And then if you get a quick puck retrieval, then you can get somebody out of position.
Tavares, not concerned with a hat trick, feeds Nielsen, gets it back, now to Clutterbuck. And that went off of Dillon.
Clutterbuck is definitely going to shoot it. He's more of a shooter mentality.
You're right, as usual. And Lettinen holds it.
That was a good shot. Vanek is standing in the slot area looking for a deflection. Lettinen's able to squeeze it with look like his left inside his left arm. But I like the idea of putting somebody back there that thinks shot first, pass second, around that net, look for that rebound and start what I like to call whack-whack hockey. Just get in there and whack away at it. Bailey looking for, he'd love to score, get off the schneid. Good face-off win by Josh Bailey.
What about to Tavares? And a save by Lettinen. So Tavares let go a shot looking for number 3. And Clutterbuck has to chase that to center. Yeah, Bailey would really be a fitting finish to this game for the Islanders if he could get one. Could get one.
Yes. Mission would have been accomplished for everybody.
Now Bailey holds up. Moves up, across to Strome. And looked like Lettinen got a piece of that.
Ryan reared his head back, so a good opportunity pass by the wayside.
Lettinen stops Clutterbuck and grabs the puck as it flipped off of his chest. And we're down to 3:17 remaining in the 3rd period. 30 seconds on the penalty to Chason and 47 seconds remaining on the one to Garbutt.
Jack Capuano giving everybody a chance to work the power play. Everybody stays on except for Captain John Tavares. Looking for another point.
So from the draw, here's Andrew McDonald to Tavares. They've got Martin in front screening the goaltender. Tavares takes the shot, he scores! I don't know if Martin touched it or not, but the fans are letting you know who they think got it, and they're probably right. Here come the hats. It'll be a hat trick for John Tavares, assuming it is his goal. It'll be his 5th NHL hat trick, and the Islanders lead it 7-3.
Now we'll take a look. Again, starts with a face-off when the Islanders battle at the face-off dot and able to finally pry it loose, and Andrew McDonald and John Tavares team up for a little yo-yo in. Well, John Tavares, to talk about shoot the puck. There's Matt Martin in front. Let's see if he gets a part of it. It's hard to tell. Might have gone through the hole, his 5-hole here. Watch this shot. There it is. Matt Martin jumps out of the way, goes underneath Ledman. There's the cup shot, and then the quick wrist shot. And no, it doesn't hit Matt Martin, as I can see. Howie, maybe you had a little different perspective. But
No, two things. A, watching the replay, it didn't look like it hit Martin. And B, if Martin touched it, he probably would have let you know that it was his goal, huh?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, if it's his goal, it's his goal. But it was a perfect screen. That's for certain. Beautiful screen. He gets in front of the net. But John Tavares shoots the puck. The Oilers had a couple of real good opportunities to score in that 5-on-3, Howie, because they shot the puck. Make them move. Make Lightning make a save. So big night for John Tavares.
Oh, is that a 5-point night now for John? Gets him to 51 points on the year. This is the Islanders' 44th game. That's 3 beyond the halfway point. So he's got a chance here now, at least if you look at the pace he's on. He's got an opportunity for a 100-point season.
Yeah, it really does. Now he only chases 2 people, I believe. It's just Kane and Crosby as far as the scoring race is concerned. And they're having marvelous years.
So the Islanders have their first 7-goal performance of the season. It sounds like they're chanting, "We want 8."
MVP, I think this term.
Is that what it is?
I think
MVP?
it's MVP again.
Well, he was a finalist for the Hart Trophy last season. And he certainly figures to be in the running in this one.
Kane, Crosby, sure, Jonathan Toews, John Tavares. Ovechkin, if he keeps scoring at the certain pace he is, although he's minus 15, so that's a little bit of a harder pill to swallow.
Garbett out of the box, so they'll call the icing. The penalties are over. The Islanders get the goal during the 5-on-3 segment. And smiles all around on that Islander bench. Now, they certainly had some on that last trip, winning in Minnesota and Boston, but it's been a while since they were able to smile at home and savor a game for a while because they let that 2-0 lead against the Blackhawks get away. Chicago tied it. It was all smiles after Kyle Okposo's overtime goal, but there's a little different feeling for the fans who come out regularly here this year. The Islanders having what we can actually now call a laugher with 2:04 to go in the third.
Well, one that the coach can stand behind the bench and has probably for the last 5 minutes, but a lot more relaxed than he has most of the season. Those are the type of games you, as a coach, you like to have. The referee just took a spill down at the far end.
By the way, Tavares is 20th of the year from McDonald, and Cizikas is also a little bit of a milestone for JT, his 300th career point. And just look at that graphic for a moment. You probably remember that night against Pittsburgh rather well. Fight night, as it turned out, on the 11th of February, 2011.
Season changing, I call it.
9-3 win that night over the Pittsburgh Penguins.
We were talking, Howie, about going on the road, but the Islanders have been very good as of late on the road. What are they, 4 in a row and winning in a row, 5 in the last 6 or something like that?
They've won in the Garden, in Detroit, in Minnesota, in Boston.
Yeah.
Wild weren't losing at home. The Bruins weren't losing at home. And so the Islanders have done some good things on the road. And excellent situation for them heading out on this 6-game trip, the way they've played tonight. And the way kids like Nelson, you know Tavares is going to get his points, but Nelson a big night. Strome, of course, his first goal. DeHaan, couple of points. And Kevin Poulin, you know.
Yeah, has come in and played real well. It's not the easiest thing in the world for a goaltender who doesn't expect to play to come in just after it started.
Grabner doesn't get anything on that.
You know, be totally loose and only getting warm-up shots. And he responded with a nice effort. Really only giving up one goal, Howie, and that was his first shot when he didn't even have the chance to stretch.
Well, now Whitney just flips the puck out. And we come down to the final minute of the third period. 43-23 Islanders in shots. And if you watch this game from start to finish, you notice quite a difference between the second and third periods. Not that the Islanders were brutal necessarily in the first, but boy, were they different in the second.
They really took it to the North Stars, made them pay for their mistakes. I think that what we saw today, Howie, was exactly what we saw the other day, only the shoe was on the other foot. The Islanders were not very good defensively in the second period against the Carolina team, and Dallas was not very good defensively against the Islander team, and the Islanders just took it to them, made them pay for their mistakes.
Final 20 seconds. with Matt Martin over at the boards. And the crowd standing. The Islanders with a solid home ice win. And these fans are sending the Islanders out onto the long road trip with an earful.
That's a very strong message. The fans are behind them. They want to see them make a run for the playoffs. And this would be the ideal time to go on the road trip and make some good things happen.
That's amazing. But you've got to go nearly 2 months to find the last Islander win in this building in regulation time.
Yeah, that's what I meant kind of, Howie, when I was talking about they hadn't won in a long time. It was a regulation win where they just out took it to somebody.
Well, John Tavares took it to the Dallas Stars tonight, and he had plenty of help. Ryan Strome with his first National Hockey League goal. Kevin Poulin relieving an injured Evgeny Nabokov in the first period. And smiles abound for the New York Islanders, who defeat the Dallas Stars 7-3. Solid win.
Real good focus, Howie. We noticed it early on with the face-offs. The Islanders were dominated in the face-off, and to me that's always a very good sign because it tells me you're aware of what's going on, you're bearing down, and when you have puck possession, good things happen, and the Islanders were able to do that early and often.
Good job on the draws tonight by the Islanders. Remember we showed you it had been an issue recently. They won 45 out of 71 tonight. And so just about everywhere you look, you see something positive, with the exception, of course, of the injury to Evgeny Nabokov.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see exactly what the nature or the extent of his injury will be. But Kevin Poulin, who was expected to play tomorrow, all things being equal, will probably do that again anyway. He wasn't overworked, that's for certain. Only gave up 1 goal, so he's feeling good.
Well, Peter Rutgazer's waiting downstairs to see who he'll be talking to. It's kind of hard to imagine it won't be John Tavares, who only had a hat trick and 2 assists. But you've got a lot of other candidates. Ryan Strome, of course, one of the co-stars with his first NHL goal. Let's pick up the stars.
The New York Islanders, number 26, Thomas Vanek.
So Thomas Vanek says to Lindy Ruff, the Dallas coach, "Hey, remember me? Remember when we were on that same bench in Buffalo?"
Well, we had a lot of good things to say about Thomas Vanek.
With his first NHL goal, number 18, Ryan Strome.
A little body check for Vanek on his way down the runway, too.
And Ryan played a real strong game, and he has been better as of late. You can just see that he's starting to feel a little bit more
And the
comfortable
first star,
at the NHL level.
3 goals and 2 assists, number 91, John Tavares.
Now, John was on the bit, as I like to say, all night, Howie. He was great puck retrieval. He could well meant in everything that he was trying to accomplish out there. He was strong on the forecheck, strong on his stick. Just a big effort.
He had a 5-point game as a rookie in Vancouver. He had one tonight, which gets him a chat with Peter Rutgazer.
Thank you very much, Howie. John, what changed for your hockey team heading into the second period tonight?
Well, I don't think we thought we played very poorly. We thought we could be a little better in defensive zone. Obviously, Pooley coming in there and a little cold on the second one. So, we just knew we wanted to keep playing our game and just keep upping the intensity. And this is when we're playing our best, is when we get better as the game goes on. So just got to carry it over to tomorrow now.
5-point night. I think a lot of people were impressed with that second goal. Tell us about that one.
I saw Vanny there, and the D kind of shaded right to him, and it was a great decoy. And I just tried to use my body to protect myself, and I was able to beat the goalie to the post. Franz and Amac did a great job battling at the wall, just keeping the puck, and I was a lucky guy to have the open ice, and they did all the work. So,
big day for you tomorrow. They're going to announce the Canadian Olympic team. Your thoughts on a special day back home?
Looking forward to it. Hopefully it goes well for myself, and I want to carry it on with a big game in Toronto for our club and get the 2 points.
Hey, John, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks, everybody.
That's your captain, John Tavares, everybody.
All right, Peter, thank you. I have a hunch John's going to be on that Canadian team. I don't think he's got anything to lose any sleep about tonight.
No, but until you hear your name, I'm sure that you're going to be a little bit uneasy. But yeah, he's in horse parlance, he's 1-9.
And 9-1 on his back. 5 points tonight. Hat trick, 2 assists. We'll wrap it all up. The ANA Islanders postgame is coming up right after this.